Revelation 2178. From the 7th of December 1941. Wrestling for the souls in the hereafter. God's mercy. In eternity it is impossible for the spiritual being to remain in the same state, for even if the being is condemned to inactivity as a result of its imperfection and is therefore powerless and remains without a supply of strength, this lack of strength takes effect after a longer or shorter period of time, and it does so in such a way that either the being hardens itself, thus distancing itself ever further from God, or it seeks to improve its situation through loving activity in the beyond. The state of inactivity can indeed last an infinitely long time, and for people this time would be a concept of eternity, but the soul does not remain eternally unchanged in this situation. Such a soul is constantly fought for on the part of the beings of light as well as on the part of darkness. Mostly the power and strength of the light beings is more effective, but the struggle for many souls is extraordinarily difficult because the light beings cannot force the will of the beings, but this is more inclined towards the dark power. But the will of a soul condemned to inactivity only becomes active when the state appears unbearable to it, thus the desire for another state must first awaken in the soul before it is accessible to the light being's efforts. And this often takes an infinitely long time. However, as long as the being remains in the same state, that is, the will is too weak for the being to decide to change its situation, it is not yet helpless to influence the soul, which the beings of light always and constantly try to do. Only when the opposing forces exert their influence such that the being falls prey to them will a guidance upwards become increasingly more hopeless. Although even then God's love and grace will not cease, and His mercy will also descend into the deepest depths to fetch up what wants to accept His love and mercy. The possibility of salvation always exists, and time and again a light will flash into the being which points upwards, and the slightest will for light attracts willing forces which enable the being to ascend. For everything perfect in the beyond is redemptively active and seeks to lift the souls out of darkness into the light. Amen.